What's good, grassroots world? I'm Chris Logan.
I'm Ernie Barber.
We are the Flagrant 2. Coach, what's going on, man?
Man, just back at it. This is nice to have another episode. It's been a little bit. So just finished AAU. Trying to figure out what next steps are. But no, I'm just lot to talk about. A lot of players, a lot of kids getting offers. A lot of teams. How the season ended. Who won what at the end of the season. The championships out of the end of the season. So.
Yeah.
Just a lot of fun stuff, a lot of coaches calling and talking about not only my players, but, some other players too. One of them got an offer today that talked to the coach about literally yesterday. So just a lot of stuff, man. Good stuff, but this is the stuff you and I do this for, and it's guys getting offers and getting a chance to play at the next level. And so it's all good stuff, man.
Obviously been hectic, chaotic, always is during this time of year. We've been out for a little bit. We're back. So much stuff to talk about. Right off the rip, if you don't get mentioned in this, it isn't a slide towards you. You probably had a great summer season,
Yes.
Whatever. We can't fit all the kids that need to be mentioned.
I'm glad you said the disclaimer up front.
I'm throwing that disclaimer out right now. I might need to add some graphics and some logo or something that pops up. But at the end of the day, there's no slight on anybody. But it's unfortunate that we even have to bring that up.
Yeah.
But you do in this day and age, because everybody thinks they're slighted. It's never that. There's nothing ever personal. There never has been. What we do, what you just said. I always love coaches that advocate for kids that don't play for them. And that's whether that's in high school. I've seen some of the guys doing it. I've even seen I saw some of the Choctaw coaches advocating for kids on other squads. I love that. Don't need to go into everybody that does that, but I just love people that do that, regardless of sport. They go out, they watch something, they mention who did well, because ultimately people may value what you guys say, and then ultimately that may lead to a kid getting seen or getting some exposure that they need. So I've always loved that. And then of course the AAU scene is always a little different. I know what you do, and I know you help out. Anybody that's a good player, you're going to mention them. That's why we work together and why I respect the hell out of you. But what this is cutthroat, and a lot of times that doesn't happen because we can't go past the brand name on the jersey a lot of times to big up somebody on another team. But that's a topic for another day. But it is what it is. And
I will say this too, Chris, real quick, is that shout out to all the Oklahoma coaches and teams that made the tournaments and made and played well during the live period. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I understand that firsthand. So shout out to all of them. They did a fantastic job and put on for Oklahoma. So I wanted to make a quick little blurb there.
100%. Some teams played kids individually obviously did really well, but some teams that did some great things on multiple circuits. And speaking of that, to me, that's what makes this podcast special and always has.
Yes.
There's no boundaries or limits on what we talk about. We're not just going to focus on one circuit or one group of player or one or two high schools that we got friends on the coaching staff. We're going to talk about everybody. If you play well, we're going to try to talk about everybody. Again, disclaimer time. We're going to try to talk about it.
You might even have to have a couple episodes just to get it all in. But yeah, 100%.
We're going to try to do it and rattle some stuff off. But I mean, obviously we talked a couple months back. So we covered the first few sessions in March and April and even in May. And then we got into June and we even did some stuff on that. And then obviously now we got the live periods and obviously a lot of kids picked up offers. If there's anything that you want to start with or anything like
let's just talk real quick about offers. Throwing out a couple guys, a number of names, not a couple of guys, but I can think of, a bunch of young men that got offers. Bo Billingsley got some offers. I know Denton Forsyth came away, had a huge spring, did fantastic. A bunch of offers. Miles Fleming's got offers. Couple of my guys got offers. TJ Williams and then Corbin Dow. Cedric Dixon got an offer. I saw him get an offer, yesterday. Combs Pierce, one of my home turf at Bowling Green State University. That's the area that I'm from. So BG.
Combs Pierce is actually getting a lot of high major interest. I wouldn't be surprised if soon you don't see a team from the Big 12 pull on him. I think he's getting closer and closer, especially as their season gets closer and closer. I think he's going to dominate this year at Independence. I think you're going to see.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see him walk away with an offer out of the Big 12. I think it's coming.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I mean, obviously being a home kid, an Oklahoma kid, but great for him. I'm proud of him. I got to see him when I was out at the live period. He came up. He's a great kid. Good family, all that. But
love to see
good mid-major offers. So I'm happy to I'm happy for that.
Yeah. And it's all part of the process. I mean, most people that saw him in high school would have thought he's a Division I guy anyways, right out of high school. So he went to JUCO, bet on himself, and bettered himself, put himself in a good situation. I think he's going to elevate himself. I thought he was a high major. I said back in his junior year, I put it on Twitter that I thought he was going to be a high major guy at some point. Whenever you and you always talk about, I remember a level of a kid, I'm saying that's their ultimate level. They're going to get there at some point. It may not be directly out of high school, but that's how it is. That's how it's going to be for 80% of these kids anymore, 90% of these kids.
Especially now with NIL and all that. Yeah, it's a different world.
They're going to have to go that long route, and a lot of them are going to have to do post-grads and reclasses and whatever can help, whatever I say, whatever helps you get into your man body, that's what you have to do. And
because that's what you're competing against.
People need to relate to that term because it's easier. We could go and I could give you all the terms and all this, that, and the other. But realistically, until you got them man muscles and man body, you're not ready to play college basketball right now. So
totally agree.
That's how I can put it to you guys as simple as possible. That may, when you hit me and say, why am I not getting these offers? And I've been telling people that have been hitting me personally, like, if you're a senior, like, you might not get an offer till February, March. Like that's a legitimate offer anyways that you could go there. And even then you're still probably a red shirt or two away from, or something of going to that school and actually contributing right away. And so
what I would say, and you're 100% correct on that. I would also say back to the body thing that you were talking about. If you're not 6'6", 6'7" or taller, if you're a guard, if you will, and some of those are guards that, 6'6", 6'7" could be a guard if you're at a D1 level. But if you're not, if you're 6'3", 6'1", 6 foot, 6'2", you gotta, what I would recommend to people is start working out and looking like a football player, and then you're getting close.
No, I almost say to people, like, you need to go play football. I don't care if you ever actually get on the field. You just need to go train with the football players. Like that, you need to get under some of that power clean and squat and all that stuff, like building that explosiveness and strength. And the biggest part of that all is nutrition. And that's the part that kids don't want to hear about because they just think you can eat whatever you want and show up. You need some Skittles and a Gatorade and go play 6 games in a day, but then wonder why
you can hoop all day long and be a hooper, but if your body isn't taken care of, you can be in the gym. That's a requirement. But if you're not in the gym lifting and doing plyos and doing everything else, and then taking care of your body and eating right off the court, you won't play 4 years in college. You just can't anymore. It's requirement.
And more than ever too is like kids are training. We've talked about this, you and I, even on this show. Like training is what's different from when we were coming up, and just how everybody's got a trainer. But a lot of these kids, they can't do the basic stuff. The basic stuff is what they're struggling on. Free throw shooting is terrible. Like I saw kids that couldn't break presses or didn't know what to do and couldn't handle the ball. I saw so many turnovers in the backcourt. I had to turn some games off. Like I can't watch that junk. Like first of all, give the ball up when you're getting trapped. First of all, the ball moves faster than the player can. So get the ball out of there. But if you're going to keep it, you better have the handle and speed to get in and out of there and be able to break through and split it and things like that.
The IQ of a lot of kids have been to trainers, to your point, at 100% spot on, and they're talented kids, but they don't think the game through. They think they can take over a game just by their their capabilities, and when everybody's playing at a high level, that's not going to happen.
And then one thing in Oklahoma and I mentioned it maybe like a year ago that bothers me is like, because I see now why kids aren't great at post-entry passes. there's not enough post players to pass it down to,
Bingo.
so they don't know how to pass down to a big man. But they
It's
better
four
learn that
and five
because
out all the time. Yeah.
but you better learn that though, because there is going to be some traditional
Correct.
bigs as you go and level up. Even depending on what circuit you're on, if you're at the top of one of these circuits or in one of the bigger, you're going to have some big guys.
Oh yeah.
And I see guys that can't even get the ball down to the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's just out there for nothing at that point. So it's like,
yeah, we played against Stray Man Elite. They had I think the number 12 player in the country, and he was a load in the block.
Tony Bryant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We had to front him. I mean, if he caught it clean and had you within a foot of the block, you're just, it's two going the other way.
It's over. Yeah, it's over. And there's a kid, I mean, like a kid like Miles Flemings, he's like that. Once he seals you off, you're toast.
Yep.
I mean, he catches that ball.
Right shoulder, left shoulder, he could go either side.
Too skilled, too strong, too much size that you ain't stopping that once you're down there. So it's just some of those things like that I see, you know, and obviously knowing that we both played and just kind of our background. That's the good thing about this podcast. We speak from experience. We don't just BS our way through this stuff.
True.
But anyways, you know, so many great kids, offers, you said, just so many guys got offers. Jock Mitchell walks away with some high major offers, Mississippi State. Mississippi.
He's really come on. He's come on huge over the last month. I mean, I saw just a flurry of offers. You know, after
rolled an ankle or something, so missed the last week or two of the season. So that sucks. But up until that point, was playing as well as anybody in Oklahoma. Got some offers. You know, a guy that I said should have been on Super 5 and didn't get a nod on any of the teams, Tyson Pogai, walks away with an offer from Oklahoma State. So, I mean, and deserved it off of the way he shot that ball. And Peach Jam had
a huge live period for sure. I mean, all season long, but I mean, at the end of the season to be where he was at statistically is huge.
Shooting at that clip is unheard of. I mean, you know, I went on some type of I don't remember if it was a live Spaces or something during that time and said like he's going to put up Trae Young type numbers because their games are similar. And I got a lot of he's not Trae Young. I didn't say he was going to be Trae Young. Very few people in the world
the numbers.
And I'm going to tell you right now, whatever the over is at sophomore this year, I got it at 30 in 6A. I think it's over. I think he's going to average 30 points. I do.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, when you look at the team has changed dramatically. It's his team now, whereas before you could argue that there were other players that had I mean, not to say he wasn't a top-tier player on the team, but you had other guys that have been in the system that were still, you know, a big part of it. Obviously, I know a few of those guys firsthand, but, you know, he played within it last year, and this year it'll be a lot different, I think.
Because that debate was had, like, does he deserve – well, you know, we're going with teams that made the state tournament. And I said, but see, to me, the Super 5 should be the 5 best players.
Correct.
I argued and got a lot of people on there was going at me and tweeting about Okie ball. But I look at it now and say, I think I was right. That just validated the performance he put on. He showed to me he's definitely one of the top 5 kids in Oklahoma, in my opinion. Just skill-wise alone. That's the thing. You know, if you're not
I think I'm with you. I think you should take the best 5 players. I think I've always had a hard time with that, the big 5, because I feel like there's a lot of people that have opinions on it, and everybody has a right to that. You know, everybody's going to come with a different viewpoint on it. You're never going to solve that argument or end it. But
it's always an opinion, and it's always to the person that, you know, eye of the beholder. I understand that, but to not make first, second, or third team, so then
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And matter of fact, like, I mean, it's going to sound crazy because no one's done it in 6A in a while. He might push 40 points. I mean, that sounds. People might say that sounds crazy, but it's possible, man. He shoots that ball like he's going to be doing it.
Correct. And here's the thing: high school, even 6A, high school is not what you're getting at the AAU level. Generally speaking, you're getting higher level talent. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys with high level talent on those rosters.
Absolutely.
In high school, you have 1 or 2.
Yeah,
maybe 3 if you're really fortunate.
And you're talking about with Mocan, and they played very well, by the way. They did go far into BGM, but he's got some top 50 kids on the team.
Correct.
He's going to get double that amount of shots on sophomore, and if he was shooting 7 out of 9 and 6 out of 8 and from 3. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to hit 23s a game, but he's going to he's saying right now
25 shots a game. He will shoot the ball 25 times a game this year. I put over under on that. He will shoot an average 25 shots a game this year,
and probably will average 7-8 assists too. But what I'm saying is, I even think you're going to say he's going to have double-digit three-pointer games. I might set that at over 10. Like, I'm serious. I think he's going to be able to do that. I think he shoots that well.
Well, if he shoots that well at the AAU level, at the Mocan elite level, high school is like slow motion.
That's exactly what it is. And then you remember, you get a high major offer behind you. That just confidence just starts to come up.
Confidence is 80% of being a great player. I don't care. I've said that over and over. I tell my son that. I tell my players that. If you have confidence, you're going to play better basketball.
And what breeds confidence is preparation.
Correct.
And being ready for the moment. But also, once your coach or school, whatever, they start to see what it is that you do and start to kind of funnel that into, that's when your confidence really expands. And we've had that talk on this podcast many times about confidence being really a difference maker in a lot of kids' games versus kids that I think are extremely talented, but maybe they don't fit what their coach likes, so the coach isn't really giving them much confidence. So I think that's part of this.
That's a good point. That's good.
Into it,
I want to say this too. We're talking about guys that had offers. Evan Goodwin, he just came away from Jinx today. You posted that. My guy Gunnar Starnes had one. I'm proud of him. He got an offer as well. Who else am I missing here? There's a couple other guys that have got.
TJ Williams just had SWASU. You obviously have a bunch of guys on Legends got offers. Bubba, David Douglas got Earl Roberts. A couple guys got Oral Roberts, actually. Isaiah Wilkes from Mocan.
That's right. The ORU has been real hot. And this is one of the things that I talked to a couple of the guys there, one of the guys on staff there, and they're really heavy on recruiting Oklahoma guys right now. So that's awesome. Real happy.
They got obviously a coach that's got Oklahoma connections. So
which is great. I love
that. They're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. They offered more Oklahoma kids in 1 month than I've seen Oklahoma school offer in 10 years. So I'm just going to be real with that. So kudos to them.
Yes.
And obviously, that's not a knock on OU OSU because it takes a specific level of kids.
Correct. It's different.
There's not enough kids here to even give out that many offers. You're never going to see 6-7 offers, in my opinion, out of one class, or even maybe in a freshman through senior. You're not going to see that many at one time to one of those schools. I just don't see that. Is it possible? Obviously, everything is possible, but it's highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, yeah.
Highly unlikely. One thing about Oklahoma is the one thing we lack is size. We have a ton of skilled guards. We just don't have a ton of size. So that's it. But so many guys got offers. We could go on and on and on about every offer that was known to man that these kids got. I was just trying to think of some other guys. Caden Leach got some offers. How about Nate Lyon? One of my biggest risers.
Huge. Oh my gosh. I watched him play. I watched him play a couple times during the live period. Mm-hmm. I love his game. I like how he communicates. I think he's got great leadership qualities. Shoots the ball at a high clip. He's a fantastic shooter. He's a kid, man. If I could build a team, I would put him at the very center of it. I love the way he plays. I love everything about the kid. I got to meet his dad. His dad came up and, by the way, said,
"Oh yeah,
he loved what we do," and on the show, which I thought was really kind.
Yeah,
I was getting ready for a game, but he came up and said hello and was really said some really nice things, which I thought was nice. He didn't have.
Mike's a good dude, a good loyal supporter of what we do, and obviously we love what his son does. Just picked up 201 offers in that 27 class that rewind 6-7 months ago, I'm not sure anybody would have told you that was the case. But this podcast was onto something because we did a segment on him.
Yeah.
And they made a little video and clipped it out.
Yeah.
His dad did, and they put that out there where we were talking about him. So we were kind of onto that, him, and then it started with it really started in March. To me, he completely came out of his season at South Central Prep and just kind of took off.
He did.
I think that the thing about some of these prep schools and stuff is that they're able to train a lot more than high school, regular high school. So I think that may pay off in the long run. Is that maybe you don't see the success maybe all the time in the season, but once the season ends and they're able to get into maybe a different system and it fits what they do, then you see all that work that they put in, and once again, preparation builds confidence, and I think that's what we saw from Nate Lyon.
Totally agree. I would say this too. A shout out to the 2027 class for Southern Ties. They were fantastic this year during the Pro 16. John White had a fantastic. He's a fantastic coach, great guy.
No question, one of the best teams in this state, regardless of year and regardless of circuit affiliation, but also one of the better teams, at least in the region and possibly the country. I mean, I have to be honest, from what I've saw, they were a pretty good team. But it helps when you have a top 10 kid in the country and Dawson Batee. I mean, man child. I mean, that's a future probably lottery pick at this point. So I mean, when you get a guy like that, that makes everything.
Oh yeah. Brings it all together and allows everybody to do what they do really, really well. And that's when you get those pieces and you've got a guy like that you can anchor to.
Yeah. You had NBA scouts at the games and everything over this last couple of weeks. So always great. My guy, Phoenix Woodson. I know he's playing for Dynamic Prep in Texas, but he's still an Oklahoma kid. He's picking up some more offers. And I saw that too. He had a hell of a spring and summer, and he deserves a lot more than that.
He's had 2 springs and summers back last year and this year. He's been fantastic.
Phoenix plays his role down the teeth, like exactly what teams need from him. And as a college coach, you got to see that.
That's what they want to see.
Yeah, he's a double machine at the 17U level in the EYBL. That translates. That's the highest level there really is. I mean, I know people want to talk about this circuit, that circuit, but I'm sorry, that's the 17s in the EYBL is notoriously known for putting the most kids.
That's where most of the talent is. I mean, you can argue all this, that, and the other, but EYBL at the Nike level, they've got the history, they've created the brand, they've got the best refs. They've got. I mean, you talk about all the things.
And I don't work for Nike, but hey, but if you want me to, hey, I got your stuff on right now. I look good in them check marks, Nike or Jordan brand.
I got plenty in my closet too that will support him.
I'm waiting on. I didn't get any PEs. Nobody delivered me any of these player edition shoes. My feelings are hurt. Somebody could have sent me some EYBL shoes or something. I'll have to go on to somebody about that.
I didn't see any. And in years past, I used to see like they would put those videos out of the guys getting the shoes for the live period and all the gear and stuff. I didn't see that.
They made a ton of gear, but I think they were really strict on who got it. Like they had like Kobe's and with the EYBL logo, but not everybody got that stuff this time. I think they got a little bit more frugal on who they gave that to.
Because I remember when John was there, they did stuff like that all the time. It was always cool to kind of see what gear they had, what shoes they had. Always like those videos.
They'll get some like team shoes, but they don't get like the stuff I'm talking about, which is like the one-of-one stuff. I know some guys on Mocan did. I saw some of it, so I know Isaiah Wilkes had some stuff, so that's some top-notch stuff. But yeah, anytime Nike, Adidas, you want to hire me, you holler at me.
You're available and ready for the phone to ring.
I'm ready to drop what I'm doing, and I'll fly out there. But and I have great relationships with some guys in those circuits, anyways. But anyways, so many other people with offers. We can't even get into all that. I just wanted to go through and just kind of off the top of my head and just kind of I'm going to wing it and just say I thought the two, in my opinion, what I saw, and I'm just going to say the 2 best independent 17U programs that I saw with my eyes, Obviously, I'm talking to one of the guys here, and I'm not saying that because he's on the show. If you don't understand what Rogue does, then that's why I put that tweet out giving Ernie his flowers. I don't know if this is going to be Ernie's last season. That's going to be up for him to discuss in the future. But I'm one of them people. I'm gonna give him his flowers before he hung it up. I don't want to wait till after the fact. He deserved to get his flowers. I really don't care if people say you did that because you. No, I didn't. I did it because of track record. And if you ask any honest coach in Oklahoma, they will agree with what I said, and most of them did on there. They all stand behind that, and we all agree that you've done one hell of a job in all of the years that you did this, even before I knew you. You know, so
I appreciate that. That means a lot, obviously, coming from your peers and people that understand. But my thing is I think the big thing for me is that, we've been able to elevate the program to get the boys the best opportunities to play and realize their dreams and play in college. So that's why I do it. And I love doing that. And when they sign, that's the payment for me. I don't get paid to do it. I just do it because I know what that means to these young men. And I enjoy 100%. That. So
100%. That's what it's about. But I really thought that you guys were there, and then I really liked a team that I thought didn't get talked about a lot. Team Oklahoma. I thought that they were very good. If I'm just saying independent teams, I like those two. I know there could be some other teams that could fight for that, but I may have just not got to see them enough. So again, don't take that as I don't think you're any good. It's just that maybe I didn't get to see you enough for me to say that, but I feel confident enough, with what you guys had in your backcourt of Destin Edwards and Colton Brammer and, Gideon Holt, but then also some of your guys like Corbin Dow, who I said could be the biggest stock riser in the 2026 class, and he might be. And then, TJ Williams coming back, getting a full year, being healthy and showing what
he played fantastic basketball. Yeah. Yep. But Team Oklahoma, I completely agree. Logan's done a fantastic job with that group. A lot of good shooters on that team.
Loaded at the guard spot.
Yeah, they're just they're a type of team that shoots the basketball extremely well, moves the basketball, moves without the ball. They're they're well coached. Like I said, Logan's done a fantastic job. One, putting the team together, and then coaching the team. They had a great year. So hats off to them.
And some individual kids. Obviously, you mentioned Evan Goodwin earlier, playing for them. Jet Mugenberg from Okarchu, I think, is one of the most underrated players in Oklahoma. Who puts up crazy numbers every night. DJ Padula. Jack Sheriff. I mean, I can go on and on. Hudson Height. That's a lot of good guards in Oklahoma. That's a lot of good players.
Some of the better ones in the state. I mean, you talk.
That's a lot. That's almost hard to even play all those guys, but I can see why they had a good season and why they did well. I think that those are two of the better teams. Obviously Chaos is always in the mix, and they play their gritty style. I love what Montrell Combs-Pierce does. I know they had some other guys step up for them. And Drew Reynolds, who I love. That's going to
Drew's a shooter, man. He's a great kid. He's very coachable. He's sharp. He's any coach would be fortunate to have him on their roster at the next level.
I think I wouldn't be. This is not a crazy thing. I think Drew Reynolds is going to lead Mustang in points. I do. I think he's be their leading scorer, and that's saying something because they got a squad. They are loaded. So I think that he has that type of, with the experience he has and the kind of the playmakers he's going to have around him and the athleticism. I think he's just going to be killing it, lights out from behind the arc. But I think he also has got a nice mid range, and he's athletic enough to get to the rim and finish. So I really like Drew Reynolds.
I do
Big
too.
Time stock riser for me in this upcoming year, and had a great summer. So I want to shout those guys out. And listen, we're going to miss some teams, and I obviously understand that, but we got to talk about as many as we can. And those we just mentioned were all next pro teams because I said independent. So we'll obviously we hit on Southern Ties as 17U, and we mentioned a lot of their guys.
A big run at the end of the year. They did a good job. They made the play in. Shout out to them. Obviously, John and the whole staff.
Yeah.
Those guys have done a fantastic job,
Yep.
and always do.
And then that program had a bunch of injuries too, and not
Yeah.
just in that grade, but that like Gabe Osborne, who's going to Mustang too, he was out for most of that. And Gabe is one of the most spectacular athletes you're ever going to see in your life. And one day Gabe Osborne might play in the NFL as a receiver. Just put that down in your
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you bookmark that. I don't know if it's first. There's a lot of people that might feel that way.
That's true. That's
including OU, who's already in on him.
That's true.
A lot of schools are in on him, but that's why though. But he's a spectacular basketball player.
Yeah.
And they were without him, so that hurt them obviously down the run. But they have a kid, JJ Wise, who I love out of Arkansas.
Yep.
Got great size, can shoot the ball. He's a Division I prospect. Love him. And then along with the other Oklahoma guys, Markel Robinson, one of the better downhill guards in Oklahoma. Love him. Super strong, quick, athletic. They got guys. We obviously mentioned Nate Lyon. Can't forget my man Joey Ball because of what he did.
Joey Ball, baby. He got the frosty tips in his hair right now. He's looking slick, man.
That's that Newcastle. That's what they did.
Yeah, man.
Newcastle look. Did I see Brammer has some blonde hair or something? Did I?
Yeah, they're all. He kind of went with the Eminem look.
That's that Newcastle. You got to have that. They got to have that gold in their hair for what they.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is.
Gold trophy. They're trying to get that gold trophy.
I hope so for my guys. I got 3 of my guys, and obviously adding Joey Ball to that. That's going to be a really tough matchup for anybody. I believe they're 4A. They were talking maybe they may be playing 5A. I don't know how that's going to roll out, but
they'll be good in either. They'll be good. They'll be good in either. I mean. Yep. We'll get into our season preview because I got a lot of stuff on high school.
That's going to be fun.
I got a lot of stuff on high school, but it may not be the same here in a month. It could change.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. There's a lot of movement.
And from what we saw in the regular season, kids will play football at one school and jump to basketball at another. So it's not even over once the season starts.
Yeah, true.
So realistically, we know what we know, but it could all change by then. So I'm very interested to see.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's some kids, a lot of movement going on, and there's some big time guys. South Central Prep is getting some guys to come in. I'm not going to say it on this. I saw them post a picture of the kid, but since it wasn't formally announced, I'm not going to say anything.
Let them do it. Yeah, like we always do.
We always let them handle their stuff. That's how we are. We like to keep some type of organization and respectability in what we do.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were busted 17. The 17 Southern Ties team. They added Hudson Franz. I thought he played really well the second half of the season. But the guy for me from Oklahoma, anyways, because they've got some other guys like a Nehemiah Lawrence.
Neo was solid, man.
Neo's been solid since Neo was born.
Yeah, man, he's a good player.
He's good, man. I heard about Neo in middle school, and he's lived up to that and more every time I've ever seen him play. He plays so damn hard, and for a guard at his stature, he does everything you have to do.
Oh yeah, he's lightning quick. He can shoot the mid range. He sees the floor well. He sets the table.
Yep.
He eats on his own. He does. He's so good. He's such a good player.
Such a good on the ball defender.
Yes,
that's what I actually
get rid of the basketball if he's on you. Just don't even try to handle it. If you got more than a dribble in you, just go ahead and get rid of it.
No, this can be old school, and some listeners may not know this, and he's bigger than this guy. But Muggsy Bogues was like that, if you remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
get the ball up the court on him. The dude was just a ball hawk, and he was all over you.
Yeah, it's guys like that have that athleticism and that center of gravity they're dangerous.
And they're strong. They're physically strong. They're not scrawny. They're built, and he has some of that man muscle I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
He will be able to play sooner than later because he's strong enough to handle the abuse that you're going to take at the college game. Running into all them big bodies all day, and you're bruised, and you feel like you just got done with a prize fight when you're done playing college.
I'm glad you're saying that because all these guys that want to play point guard, they think they want to play point guard at the next level. You're running off about 3 or 4 screens almost minimum every possession. So get used to running into bodies. And they're big and strong bodies.
Yeah, dudes that weigh 60 pounds plus on you sometimes, knocking the crap out of you. So
sharp elbows.
elbows, knees, into
You name it.
those knees into your quads are some of the worst things that you can
Yeah.
get. Them things,
Yeah.
you
I
take one bad,
remember.
I've had those bad enough. I've had some knees to the upper leg that I literally couldn't move my leg for about 3 weeks to a month. Like, it was that bad. And football players know all about that, but
Mhm.
we don't have, most of us didn't
Yeah.
wear pads in basketball. Now
No.
now they do, though. There's
Yeah, they
guys
got
with
the
pads
Under
on
Armour
them.
stuff going on. Yeah. Got
We
a
didn't
couple
have
guys
any of
there.
that. We didn't have any pads. We didn't have.
No, we
put some,
walked uphill both ways to school, kids.
we slapped
We
some
had
icy
rubber
hot
back
on
in
it,
our day.
rubbed some icy hot on that, and got back up there. But but uh, but
That's funny.
anyways, another guy for them, and then we'll move on. Mason Matulis was one I thought that
Yeah.
should have been. That should have
Shot
been.
lights out, fantastic from the perimeter. Played some D. He did a lot of things. Stockriser for sure out of that
And
class.
Stockriser from the high school season.
Yeah.
And it translated over in spring and summer. I thought he does a great job. He's got great size. He will have to continue to develop his strength and get physically strong. And when we say that, it doesn't always mean that you're going to be 215 pounds of muscle. That it's that functional strength that you need in basketball. A la Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's strong, and that matters. And that's called functional strength, and that's just something that comes as you mature. First of all.
Yeah, I think that, and that's what I was talking about earlier with in the weight room is plyometrics is that functional strength you're talking about. You'll do the big body, parts too, where you'll do squats and different things, but when you add the plyometrics to that, you're adding that functional strength that you talked about that applies to basketball specifically.
100%. So that was we basically covered. We only have one Pro 16 team here. We just covered some of their guys. We did some of the independent programs from Next Pro. I wanted to jump around and kind of talk a little bit about. We'll jump in and talk a little bit about some of the Legends guys on the EYBL, because we only have one EYBL representative. Obviously, we'll start with the 15s. They qualified for Peach Jam. Didn't go the way they wanted to, but they had two guys that to me busted out onto the national scene, not just and finished huge, finished first and fifth in scoring in the entire thing, and that's Rodney Washington of McAllister and David Douglas of East Central. Two of the best guards in the country. I really, and they play a totally different style in a sense, but they do some things that are similar. But I've said this: Rodney is the best athlete in almost any gym he walks into in the world.
That's impressive.
In the world, I'm not just talking about in Oklahoma, and I'm not just talking about high school. Rodney Washington has professional athleticism. He has NBA athleticism right now.
That's impressive at that age too. I mean, that's insane. I've seen a couple guys like that. I've played with a couple guys like that over the years when I was younger. And when you see that athleticism, right away, it pops out, and it's undeniable.
And at the 15U level, no one can stop that getting to the rim when you're that explosive and strong. Now, I will say this, what I loved about him was, and people always said, well, can he shoot? He shot it really well from three. Yeah. And really the whole season, but really came on the last month or so towards the end and really shot it at a well clip. As he develops ball skills, and he's going to have to continue to work on that, he's a legitimate, and I mean, he already has one high major offer from Nebraska. He's going to pick up a bunch of offers, more than that. I think Roberts, but I look at him to do that. David Douglas, to me, is possibly he's in the fray of the best point guard in Oklahoma. Regardless of class, he's in that conversation. As far as vocal leadership, winner, does whatever it takes, but then has the athleticism and the skill to back it up. Can defend. Great size. As he continues to develop and mature his game, I think
that's a big statement for a 15U. I mean, that's a huge compliment because we got a lot of good players in that position. And saying that, and I agree with you. That says a lot about him and where he's headed.
Yeah, and those two guys were their headliners, obviously, and they were two of the better guards, obviously, in the country because you're putting them into the top. But it'll be great to see how they mature and into this upcoming season. I can't even imagine the numbers Rodney's going to put up at McAllister. It's going to be crazy. And the
Video
dunk.
game type
Yeah,
numbers.
I just want to see the dunks. I just want a dunk cam on him. But as he develops, like I said, those ball skills, it's going to only elevate him. And I truly do believe Bubba, has a chance. Obviously, he's a mid-major guy already. I think he's got a chance to sniff the high major level as long as he continues to develop and keep getting better. The trajectory is there. One of my favorite players in Oklahoma to watch. I've already made that known. I really just like the way he plays because I like the leadership that he brings. He wills his guys to win, and I love that. I love that from the point guard.
Well, that's the position too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you've got to be in that position as a leader. You've got the skill set side of it, but leadership is what sets you apart, and your ability to communicate.
And then I love they got a kid from Woodward, Caden Gaines, who's like a 6'7", 6'8" kid who was really good in the pick and pop and really did a good job of spacing the floor at that size. Obviously, some are saying they project him to be a lot taller. If that happens, he's got a chance because he can shoot the heck out of the ball. I'd like to see him do some stuff and work on some stuff in the post, a la Jax Kerr, our guy Jax Kerr. Which, by the way, if you go back and look at a podcast, and I'll fire it out there, as you know, I keep our receipts. You and I'm feeling good already. He hadn't even played an actual game, and I've seen a lot of his workouts, and I've seen how he's playing right now. I'm feeling good about what you and I said about how high his ultimate ceiling may be.
Yep. I believe it. I believe it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and when we say that, we're talking about professionally. I think that's and it's early. So Chris, pump the brakes. He hadn't played a game. I've seen some stuff, and I really like it. And I think it's going to translate.
I do too. I've said it and thought it all along. I mean, one, I just really like the kid. I think he's an outstanding human being. But on top of that, he's got all the measurables. It's all there, and then his skills that go along with it. And then you get him in the weight room, get him stronger. He's only going to get more confident. He's going to play. I mean, it's just going to.
You're 6'11" barefoot, so you're over 7 foot with shoes, and you can shoot the three. You can block shots and rebound. And
he can move his feet too. I mean, he's actually pretty decent athlete on top of it.
Absolutely. So if you can just as a footer, as a 7-footer, if you can knock down the three at a high clip and rebound and block shots, that's really all you have to do to make it very high because of the size of you. And there's just not many people in the world that can do that. So I really like, and it's early, and he stays healthy and continues, like you said, to develop that body. I love him. And I know we're getting off on this, but I had to bring him up because
he's an Oklahoma kid. He deserves it, man.
Absolutely. But I brought him up because the Caden Gaines kid from Woodward, I think that as he can do some stuff and maybe expand on his game of not just being a shooter, but also getting tougher down in the post and working on some of his post skills, I think that will only elevate.
Let that be a template for you, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then the other guys, Garrett Smith from Mustang, who I love, 6'6", 6'7", just extremely. He's in that dunker spot for them, but he can shoot the three. He shot it well at Mustang last year. He's gonna be one of the better players in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I got to watch him during during the Christmas break where they had the tournament there at Mustang. I went out and watched a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, can shoot the three, but a really good athlete around the rim, dunks everything. Might lead Oklahoma in dunks in a game, but love him. I thought Sion Wilborn did really well. Going to Mustang again, another Mustang got riches. I mean, they got a lot of kids, and they may get another kid that we ain't gonna talk about, but they might be getting another one. But anyways, I think Sion Wilborn comes in the game. The ball doesn't stick. He's a smaller guard, but he plays pesky, hits a lot of threes. But the most important thing he does is the offense runs better when he's in the game. So I really like him, and I think that he's going to help out at Mustang.
Yeah, Brandon's got a lot of riches there in Mustang, and I know he'll do well with it. He's I think he's one of the best coaches in the state, personally, young coaches.
Yep. I really like some of the other guys that they have too. In the 15, Kingston Gold, who comes from Texas. I really like what he does. Obviously, the 16s, we mentioned Jock, who blew up on the national scene. But I'm just going to tell you this. Yeah. I thought Jock Mitchell was good in 6th grade. So it isn't even a surprise to me. It's just that the rest of the country's figuring it out. And Jock is just stepping up, elevating. Jock has that man body that man, he's had it since middle school. That kid is an unbelievable, another one-of-one athlete, like we talked about Rodney.
Yep.
That's Jock, but Jock is an elite passer.
Yeah.
He's a dog, plays hard.
He checks almost all the boxes. He does.
He's turned himself from what most thought was more of a combo off-ball guard to more of an on-ball point guard. And I think that's why you're seeing some high majors come in, because they're going like, this kid can defend at that level. That's the thing. He can handle point guards, and he can guard point guards in the SEC.
Note to players, if you can defend at that level, you're going to get recruited at that level. Remember that.
Absolutely. And a couple other guys. Obviously, I was really, and I've talked about Memphis Duffy a few times.
Yeah.
I thought he's one of the biggest stock risers in the 27 class. Already was one of the better kids in Oklahoma, but I really thought he elevated his game, and because of that, got an offer from Earl Roberts as well. They have a kid who I think is a possible, professional down in Lukai Anderson out of Lubbock. Plays for Coach Spencer Sutton, who's Eddie Sutton's grandson. Spencer does a hell of a job with his program. Always has great kids. Good dude. I think Lukai Anderson, lefty shooter, great size, 6'4", 6'5". His brother currently plays at Texas Tech and is one of the best players in the Big 12, and is going to be, most people think, a top 14 pick lottery next year. We'll see. But Lukai has all the makings of that. I love Dallas Lowe. I think Lowe is still just scratching the surface on how really good
I think you're right.
Dallas Lowe really can be. And then the last kid from Oklahoma I wanted to mention for them is Brennan Malone, who my defensive MVP from my camp showcase. Stay tuned for that, because we got some announcements coming soon, very soon. Anyway, so, the 405 is going to want to be ready for this year. We're about to come and take over the 405. But Brennan Malone was our defensive MVP. Love what he does. The energy, block shots, everything he does. Just the tough-nosed kid.
I remember.
Love Brennan Malone. So that's the Legends 15, 16s to 17s. Deshaun Denson had a really good live period.
Yes, he did.
Led them in scoring and assists. Great thing is he didn't turn the ball over, so he did everything he needed to do. Love him. I know Julius Wilson didn't get to play the last couple tournaments. They didn't have a ton of Oklahoma guys, but had some really good players from Texas and Bryce Dixon, and then some guys.
I love Julian Wilson's game, man. I love his game.
Absolutely. And then Ja'Cory Jones from Texas was a great point guard for them. Kate Speckman and Frank Villaby from Colorado, the 6'9". Speckman was great. I think he's going to South Central Prep this year. And Frank Villaby went and played for the German national team. And
that's what I heard.
28, 29 points on AJ DeBanza, who I think is the best high school player. I think he's better than Cooper Flagg. I know people.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's huge. Just to even put that in that category is huge.
I think he is. I think he's going to be better. I think he's going to be better in the NBA. That's just my personal opinion. We'll see. You might, I might look like an idiot in a couple years, but I might look like,
a genius.
I might look like a genius. I might have to throw that crystal ball out there then. But I wouldn't be the first person to say that about AJ DeBanza. He's one of the best in the world. He's the best kid in the world as far as that's still in high school, and going to BYU, making more money than NBA players make. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that because Frank played really well against guys like that, so he stepped up his game.
That's huge.
So that's the Legends programs. I wanted to bounce around and hit. I know 3SSB we didn't have representative, but we obviously had kids. You mentioned Bo Billingsley. I thought Bo Billingsley was one of the best point guards. Bo Billingsley was one of the most consistent point guards in any circuit I watched all summer at any level. And to do it at that 17 level, I got more calls on him from college coaches just saying that kid plays so damn hard and he's just so good. Such a great leader. I love him. I think Norman is going to have a great season, obviously.
They're going to be at the top of the list of all the teams I think are going to have a chance to win the gold ball.
Bo Billingsley, and then obviously his teammate now in Norman, Cason Robinson, really played well. In the minutes he got, Kason Robinson is the ultimate role player. Like, it's gonna get him to a college. That it's gonna
Body
get him to
too
the level.
helps. It's got
Yeah,
that size.
it's gonna get him possibly into the D1 level out of high school. If not, he probably will get there.
We'll get there.
I would be surprised if he doesn't pick up a Division I offer because of his size and his skill set, and the fact that I just said he's an excellent teammate and he's a great role player, and you could take him and plug and play him.
He's versatile. He's very versatile.
Well, he's that 3-and-D guy, but he's really great. He's a really above average rebounder. Yeah. That's what I like about him. He uses his body well. He uses his leverage well. He's just a great, he's a good player, and he's going to do good things. And I think those two kids, I know we didn't have many 3 SSB guys, but I wanted to throw those guys out there.
Definitely good ones. Good ones.
And then I'm just going to hit you with some individual guys who I just kind of thought that their stock has risen. I'm gonna give 2 kids in the 2027 class, because I'm not gonna count Jock and Tyson, because honestly I thought Jock and Tyson, but they obviously had great seasons. So we want to call Jock and Tyson might be stock risers in the national scene. These are 2 kids that I think, and this one will be at some point, but Braylon Boogie Bradshaw for pro skills, that's going to go to Heritage Hall this upcoming year, 2027. I'm just going to say this. I got a call from an NBA guy, an NBA exec on him. He's the 2027, asking me questions about him. I didn't even know they knew who he was. So I'm just saying, and hey, it's early. I ain't going to say,
No,
but they're asking questions, and there's rightfully so. Boogie Bradshaw exploded on the scene, and to me was not just one of the best players in Oklahoma, was one of the best players in that division. I mean, in the 16s, he played so well. He is one of the most versatile players, because he's about 6'5", maybe probably close to 6'6", but strong. Can play in the post, rebounds it as well as anybody. Great offensive rebounder, has these push shots, hook shots, both hands, can play in that dunker spot, extreme athleticism, but he has guard skills to step out, drive past you, and dunk on your head.
That's a great analysis of his entire game. I watched him play, and I contemplated asking him to come play for us and play up this year. Yeah. Because I thought, well, you know what, give you some exposure at the 17U level. As a 16U, he checked all the boxes. He's a fantastic player. So
bona fide top end prospect in that 27 class.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud.
I mean, he missed a year with a health thing. He's good to go. So I think that's why I tell people that's why you probably didn't know him, is because he missed some time, but he's back now, and he's back better than ever.
He's a stud, man. You're gonna hit this year. He's just gonna. You're right. He's just gonna explode. It's gonna get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so to me, him and Nate Lyon are my 27 stock risers. And then I have another one that I thought played really well from I-4, Trey Summers, that played at Norman North and plays for I-4. I thought he had a great spring and summer. I think he did everything he could, elevated his stock. I liked Aiden Cooper Kelly from AAO Flight that went to Norman North last year. I love him. I love what he does. Plays at such a great pace. Never lets anybody rattle him. Those are some of my stock risers in that 27 class. Remember, we're missing kids. We're going to do another show, and I'll catch the ones that I missed.
We got a bunch of them though, so that's good.
Oh, absolutely. In the 2028, Brian Hopgood Jr., 6'6", 6'7" post player, played for Pro Skills as well. He's only in 2028. Goes to Bristow High School. A man amongst boys down there as a big man. Love him. Love what he's got a legit chance. If he keeps growing, because his dad is like 6'9" or 6'10". If he keeps growing, he's well on that D1 level and might do it anyways, even from his size. Back to some of them I-4 kids. That I saw. I loved Breck Brady, who I gave him a shout out the other day. Breck Brady's in that a la Miles Fleming's, like he's 6'6", but he's about 275. Might be pushing. He's
going to have choices in life. Let's put it that way.
And one of them might be going to the NFL one day.
Correct. There's football or basketball. Yep.
Yes, every school in football is on him and has been.
Yep.
But Brett Brady got such a nimble, soft, great feet, but soft hands, finesse. Uh, uh, and I said this to a couple, we call him Baby Joker or whatever.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of a young Jokic because he can pass the ball, but his hands are so big. Like he gets that ball.
Special athlete. He can do so many things well. And obviously that's why he's great at football and basketball. So
yeah, and it's a wrap. Once he catches that ball in the paint, it's over with. He's going to score. He does so much great things. I'm looking for a monster season from him. Really like what he did. I thought TJ Newton, a 2028 that's going to Edmond Santa Fe for them, had a breakout season. And he's going to in high school. He's going to be one of the best guards in that 28 class.
Coach Evans, too, would be playing for Coach Evans, which is a huge deal.
Yep. He's going to be spectacular, man. I really love TJ Newton a lot. Let's see. Who else I got down here? I just got some names. I love this is another Santa Fe kid, a point guard. This is 2026, Money Robinson. He played for the Hoyas this season, so maybe I didn't get to see him as much as I did, but I definitely watched some film of him. I thought he came into his own. I thought he's been a good player for years.
Yeah, me too.
I really think he's got that DNA in that family, man. His brother's one of the best running backs in the country, going to Arizona State this year. I think he's going to get on the field right away, so we'll see. But Money had a breakout summer. Really love what he did. I'm just trying to keep because I want to try to keep close to this as I can. Mention those guys. I think some of the guys from Southern Salt, Texoma. I thought Braden Buckingham continued his play from the regular season, where I said he might have been the biggest stock riser in the high school season in the 26 class, and I think he continued that on.
He's played fantastic.
Yeah, I love Gene Mason was playing up, but he's a 2027 going to Broken Arrow, 6'6" point guard. I think he's a Division I guy. I think he's just going to continue to develop his body. He'll get there. Just kind of rapid firing these guys out there. Obviously, Mocan, 15U, Keaton Murray from PC North. That's Jalen Williams' nephew from the Thunder. Not that I need to say that, but it's in the family line. But the difference is Keaton is a point guard, and Keaton is as smooth as they come, and had a monster season on 15s in E15 and EYBL. And Mocan, he was one of the best players.
No small feat at that level.
Yeah, because he's a dynamic playmaker. I love how hard he plays, but he sets things up, but he can really shoot it. He's got that smooth touch. He was at our showcase. Love that kid. Going to do really big.
I can't wait to see the showcase this year. It'll be fun. I'm anxious to see that.
We got some surprises coming in that. But I love him. Obviously, the 17 Mocan, Jalen Montnati is Jalen Montnati. Jalen Montnati went out his last game at AAU and killed it with that 29 points. He crushed it. Obviously he's got his 2 visits coming up to OU and OSU. But I was going to
mention that. That's going to be it's going to be exciting to see what happens. I wonder where he ends up. That's going to be we'll see.
If he ended up at OU, that'd be crazy. But I mean,
yeah, that would be crazy since his dad played at OSU.
Let me tell you this: basketball wise, and there's some sense to be made there. But Oklahoma State is obviously his father played there, but that doesn't a lot goes into this. You got to go where it's the right fit. I wish he'd stayed at Oklahoma school, but I also want him to do what's best for him.
Yeah, no, he just had an offer at K-State. I saw the K-State pictures. That was pretty cool. I thought, he's going to have high level offers where he can go. I think the big thing is like you say, where he can go in, it's a good fit, and he can make an impact right away. I think that's going to be, what helps make his decision. So we'll see.
Absolutely. I think that's it. And then obviously Isaiah Wilkes had a great season, but had a great season in high school. How about this? Isaiah Wilkes wins a state championship in high school with Millwood, and then his father, 3 months later, wins an NBA championship as a coach for the Thunder. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It's been a good year for the Wilkes family, for sure.
Stock rising on the whole Wilkes family. Stock risers on the Wilkes family. Including his dad, Mike, stock riser. Probably will be a head coach one day.
Yeah.
in the NBA too.
Certainly will learn a lot and has a lot of good mentors in
Well,
that organization, right?
yeah, and you know how that goes. Like you win 2-3 titles. I
Yeah.
mean, them assistants are going to be hot
Yep.
commodities
Heck
everywhere.
yeah, they've earned it, man. They worked hard. They win championships. Winners are
Yeah,
winners.
and had a 10-year career in the NBA as a player. Like so,
Yeah.
there's just a lot there.
Yep.
Isaiah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Isaiah might a little bit more explosive to me but I like the way that those guys play. Obviously, Amari Barrett and Bowden Williams did some
Yep.
nice things. Bowden Williams when they inserted him into that starting lineup, I thought Mocamp played better.
Yep.
Bowden always plays heady and consistent. He doesn't try
Yep.
to do too much. He
Yep.
does the right thing, but he's a great defender on and off the ball. Good size, good strength. Yep. Like him, he's a D1 guy that's got offers, and same with Amari Barrett, one of the hardest playing kids in the state and one of the hardest playing kids in the country. And I've always said that about Amari. I love watching Amari Barrett play, but I love watching T.O. Barrett play. So,
of course, yeah, come on. Yeah, T.O.
Their family, they're solid folks. I think we're going to stop there for now as far as players, because we're getting into so many that we can break it down and do a whole other episode where we continue.
One thing I wanted to bring up while we were here is I wanted to talk a little bit about, because we covered everything I was kind of thinking we would cover, but I wanted to list the elite camps coming up that kids need to think about going if they get an invite to some good elite camps. And I know, and I won't take credit for this because Paul Harvey put this out, but I think it's really critical for, if parents are listening to this or players wondering what kind of elite camps to, get to. You've got Northwest Missouri State, you've got East Central, you've got Missouri State, you've got NSU and NSU, so Southern Nazarene, and then you've got Northeastern, right? So you've got 3 of the 5 I just named that are Oklahoma schools, and all of them are Division II schools, are fantastic. For players that are looking, to play small, Oklahoma basketball or MIAA basketball or whatever at the NCAA level, maybe not the Division II or 1 level, but Division II level, which is high level basketball. Those are some really good camps you guys need to look into. If you get invites to them, you might strongly consider that. And there are other camps that I haven't mentioned on that list. Paul put this one out, but I think it's really critical. I want to help, and this is why I do this, same with you, Chris, is we want to help guys get to the next level, and we've got to promote these, not just to promote to, make money for these schools. It's more than that. It's about getting the offers. If you play well in front of the coaches and they have a need in that particular area, you're going to get an opportunity. So that's where recruiting starts, and that's where the offers end. So you guys got to think about these things. Some of you may be a good enough player to play at the next level, but you've got to take every opportunity to get in front of coaches, and you never know which. You play well in front of the right coach, and you're in a dream situation where you can play close to home. So,
and I recommend, if you're a kid at those levels, you absolutely should go to that. But I'm gonna piggyback on that, and I'm not gonna go too much into details because we're about to release all this stuff. But we ran. Don't take my opinion. Take the players, the parents that were at it last year, and then the college coaches. What they call the best showcase ever run in Oklahoma. I'm here to tell you right now, I guarantee it, money back it, that what's going to happen this year is going to blow that out of the water. So all those coaches that you mentioned, they're probably all going to be at this anyway. So I'm not going to release too much. We're going to do that on our own, and we're going to release the details coming very soon. This is an invite-only camp to players that we select that we feel can meet the needs of the coaches that we have there. There will be Division I coaches watching. Last year we had 17 Division I schools, including a number of high majors, mid majors, lows. It's triple that right now of how many I got locked in, because the players that we got coming match up. We had a number of double-digit Division I guys last year at our camp, and we're going to do that again. But we're about every level. We're about D2, JUCO, NAIA, whatever, because we want to give a good mix of all the guys and all the coaches. We want them all in person. We understand that they can't come in person, the D1s, but I've got it set up, and it costs a lot of money to do it, but I've got it set up to where they can get their own account, and they're going to be able to log in and watch some of these guys. So D1 guys will be there again like they were last year. And I don't think this is just going to be, and I'm not just blowing smoke, I don't think this is just going to be one of the best showcase / camps in Oklahoma. I think it's one of the best in the country. And I know that there's a lot of them out there, but you wait till we're done, because you're going to hear when the hate starts coming, that's because you do something right.
There you go.
Got no haters, you ain't popping. That's it.
That's nice. A little spice action here before the end. But no, I wanted to say this too. I'll throw this in there because we were talking real quick and under the radar players. I talked about him earlier in the year, and I think he had a really good spring and summer as well. That Bridge Barrett out of Sulphur is another kid that I really think coaches need to I've got all the information on him. If somebody wants to know, Chris, I'll share it with you as well. This kid's talented. He can help, coaches at the next level.
You just give me his contact, because I got a place for him to come here in a
well,
couple weeks.
I am going to do that. I've got that information, but Chris, I'm also going to send some stuff to you on him as well. Because if coaches ask about him, you've got the information on him, and then people can do the research and what have you. But I'll definitely get you his information when we get off the podcast.
Absolutely, and I want that stuff, because we're looking for those kind of guys. I want them down in the roughs. That's what I really love doing. I love the D1 guys, and I love high level basketball. Everybody knows that about me. I'm an NBA guy. I was in Vegas at Summer League. I'm all about doing NBA stuff and doing things like that. But my bread and butter is seeing a high school kid that comes up out of nowhere and gets that opportunity to do what he's dreamed his whole life of doing. And that's playing in the college level and getting his school paid for and setting himself up for his life outside of basketball. Because that's what I do this for. And all that hate that people throw and all that it's and that and all that, I don't really give a shit. And excuse my language.
No.
Because I really don't care about that. We know why we do what we do.
Correct.
We know our why. Some people need to figure out theirs. And I'm going to leave it at that. Oklahoma, we love you. If you're not following Coach Barber, you better be following him. Give him his flowers. Best independent program in Oklahoma. Hey, they have been. Thank
you, Chris.
But if you're not following him, If you're not following the Flagrant 2, get on it, because we're coming back better than ever. Guests are coming. We may get back in the studio. Fun. I'm feeling like we might need a studio. We might need a studio guest or something like that. We might do that. If you're not following Okie Ball,
I've got some ideas too.
Yeah. Follow Okie Ball. Support the people that support your dang kids, because without these people, you'll see it can go back to what it was, and it was much harder then, when nobody was talking about but a few kids that they had relationships with or they were being paid to talk about. So I'm going to be on one, because that's what we're about to do. We're about to bring Okie Ball back to what it used to be, and just get ready.
Love
you. We love you, Oklahoma. We appreciate your support. We're out. Peace.